Alrighty, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new video on East Coast Manga. So today we're going to be talking about some manga series that I've dropped. Now, I've already talked about maybe one or two of these, but I also have some other ones. I don't really remember if I've even made a video like this before. I've seen some other people make videos kind of recently, and I saw that people really enjoyed those, so I'm gonna make one for you guys, and there's gonna be some controversial picks. I feel like anytime someone makes a video like this, it's one of those things where if they choose any type of popular manga, there's probably gonna be some people who disagree with them. So let me know down in the comments if you disagree with me. What do you think I should keep reading some of these series? Do you agree with me? Do you also dislike some of these series? Whatever it is, let me know down in the comments. And the first series I'm gonna start with, I don't even have a volume of. I might have like from the spin-off series somewhere around here, but my first choice for manga series I've dropped is Dr. Stone. Some of you guys may know I'm not a huge fan of Dr. Stone. I gave it maybe a volume or two, and I just didn't like how it was progressing. Now don't get me wrong, there's a big piece I dislike, but then there's some other things I like about it. So the big thing I dislike about it is too fast-paced for me. In a kind of survival slash like into the world apocalyptic type manga or any type of series, TV show, whatever, I like it to be a little slower. I love the beginning, I'm not even gonna lie, I love the beginning, and then when they just started inventing things too fast, and I understand, I'll get into it, but I understand why it happens like that, but it's just not really for me. I think if it was more seinen based, or not necessarily seinen, but just like a little slower, a little more realistic, I think I would enjoy it more. Now, I understand why a lot of you guys like it. It has some awesome science stuff. So if you're into like science or biology or chemistry, like I understand why you would like it then. It has a lot of really cool stuff. Also, it has the shonen aspect where it is fast paced. So if you like that, I can see why you like this series. Typically with a shonen, you don't want kind of a slow paced series, then people just aren't really, they lose interest, to be honest with you. Shonen's supposed to be fast paced, and I think that's just one of the reasons I actually dislike it, just because I like this particular story, this particular setting to be a little slower. But to move on to my next series, we have Mob Psycho 100. This is a series that I dropped. It wasn't even, I'm not even gonna say that I hated it or really like disliked it. It just was okay. I didn't really, I don't know, there was just nothing that really grabbed me, and I know maybe some of you guys are gonna tell me, oh, I should read some more or I should watch the anime. And you know what, maybe that would totally change my opinion, and I agree with you guys, but I will say, you know, for just talking about series I dropped, I did drop Mob 100. I do have like 2 volumes though. I don't even know why or how I got the second volume, but I do have 2 volumes, and I don't know, it's been one of those series where I haven't sold it because like I may go back to it, and a lot of people have told me to check out the anime and then maybe go back to the manga, but I don't know, it's just, like I said, nothing really grabbed me when I read it. The next series on the list, you guys might have just gotten a little peek, but we have Demon Slayer. This, alright, so I understand the concept of like people hating on popular manga just because it's popular, and that's not my issue with Demon Slayer. I've definitely talked about this before in like videos way long ago, but Demon Slayer, the manga, just really did not capture me, and I'll reiterate because it's been like probably a year and a half or something like that. But one of my biggest issues with it is not only the art, but it's also the emotions that come out or don't actually come out in this first volume after a very significant event happening towards kind of the beginning. I expected a lot more emotion out of that scene, and it just seems like the lack of emotion plus the lack of just like decent artwork during that scene. I don't know, I personally was not a fan of this. And yes, this is a series, I've only read 1 volume, I haven't watched the anime. I know the anime kind of carried the manga, so at some point I definitely need to watch the anime, but to be honest with you, it's just this 1 volume, I just wasn't really captured. And like I mentioned, I will go to the anime, I will check out some episodes, I might even like it, I know I have some friends who like it, but I don't know, the manga just really didn't do it for me. Okay, next series we have, I don't even know where to begin with this. So we have Land of the Lustrous, and this is a manga that has a pretty like hardcore following behind. I know a lot of people who really really like this manga, and probably for really good reasons. It looks really cool. I just don't know if I put enough thought into it, but I really did not understand a lot of this first volume. It just like was very unclear and chaotic and crazy to me. I just did not get into it for whatever reason. Was not a huge fan. And I know some people are gonna tell me to reread it and or maybe read another volume or two because it's like one of their favorite series. And you know what? Maybe some point in the future I will. I still have the first volume for this, unlike Dr. Stone. But I don't know. On my first read through, I was not interested in it, and I haven't touched it in like probably over a year. The second to last series we have Rent-a-Girlfriend. And I am severely disappointed because if you guys have watched me for a while, you know this is actually one of the series that I've talked a lot about. I recommended it a lot. I enjoyed it. It was something totally different than what I was expecting when I went into it. But here's my issue. There's just not enough that happens. Like it is like the opposite of Dr. Stone. It is such a slow draw manga. And honestly, the ending could be fantastic. I have no idea. I just know when I was talking to people, because this is like way far, or I mean I only have 5 volumes right now, but I've read all 5 of them. And at some point within the last couple months, probably even longer actually, this manga has been way ahead in Japan. And I talked to people who read it online or read the scans or whatever online, and so they're like way farther ahead. And they're like, yeah man, like nothing happens for like volume after volume after volume after volume. And I'm not gonna say nothing because there are like smaller events, but there's like a big event in this series that like you're basically waiting for the entire time. And the fact that like you have to buy so many volumes of this series to be able to get to that point, I'm not interested in it. It might be something I read online, but I'm not gonna keep putting money into this series when like there's just the progression just isn't there. And if I'm wrong about that, you guys can let me know. But I mean, I have 5 volumes. Like, how many more volumes do I need to be able to get like something progressive? And the last series, it's a little bit of a reach, but here's my reasoning, okay? This was one of the first manga that I really read physically that I got my hands on. I started it. I had 3 omnibuses. I started it, got about halfway through, maybe even more actually, might have even gone through the whole volume, I'm not sure. And it was very, very slow. And Urasawa's works, I've realized that I like it to be a little faster paced. Pluto was fantastic, and I'm actually gonna make a whole separate video on that if it's not already up. But this series right here, I'm definitely going back to it, 100%. I need a couple more volumes to finish it. Definitely going back with a totally new perspective. But I was also reading or wanting to read Dragon Ball at the time. I never watched Dragon Ball, and I just recently got the box set when I also had these. So I stopped reading the series and read Dragon Ball and literally flew through all 16 volumes. That's how much that series had interested me, Dragon Ball, to the point where like I could barely get through like 3 like singles of this, like 1 omnibus. But the last series that I dropped is 20th Century Boys. And I mean that quite literally. I dropped it and haven't read it, haven't picked it back up since I dropped it. Not dropped it as in I totally dropped the series and I'm not going back to it. I am 100% going back to it. This will actually be the next big Urasawa work that I'm going to read as I just finished Pluto. But I am still missing a couple volumes of the singles, which hopefully I should be getting in April. That should be fingers crossed. But yeah, Urasawa, 20th Century Boys, something about it just wasn't super interesting to me. And at the same time, like I didn't read Monster like too long after I started this, and Monster hooked me way more. So that's kind of just saying something to like, I guess how this is kind of a slower pace, at least at the beginning. But I've heard amazing things about this series, so definitely a series that I will be going back to. And it's kind of like just an add-on to this video, as I've kind of already gone through the main series that I've like dropped. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, whether you absolutely hate my picks or you actually agree with some. Leave them down in the comments like I mentioned earlier. I would love to have a discussion with you guys. And yeah, that's gonna be it. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.